booties for black girl nerds.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Let me borrow some books.
Haven't read not one of them. No, I'm just kidding.
Nah, I feel it.
So, first of all, House Party was so much fun, and I'm really just so glad to see this franchise back. It was so refreshing to just see this all over again. The nostalgia was just running through my veins. And starting with you, Tosin, you've demonstrated that you can easily maneuver yourself into dramatic roles like in 61st Street and Until, and also do comedy, which you play flawlessly in House Party.
Thank you.
As a performer, what takes more skill as an actor, drama or comedy?
You know what? In all honesty, I feel like comedy made me the most insecure like I've ever been, like being on a set. Like for the first 2 weeks, because I came off 61st Street with like a 2-day turnaround and jumped in straight into House Party. So I was like,
Still in it.
I was still in the serious bag, you know what I mean? Like I think my character just come out of jail, so I was all like, I was happy to be free and stuff like that. And then I was going to House Party and I was like, am I doing this too serious? Like, I was like, no one's laughing. Like, I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So I had to phone my friend Samson and I was like, yo, like, cause he does like predominantly comedy like stuff. And I was like, bro, am I funny? And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, bro, am I funny? Like, do people laugh with me or do they laugh at me? Like, what's going on? And he's like, what's going on with you? I'm like, bro, I'm on set. And then, so it was kind of hard kind of navigating that. But I feel like you just got to trust the process and just go with it and just kind of be free. And once you're not worrying about like, people's opinions and all the other stuff, then the comedy just kind of flows naturally.
It
rather
does.
than just be rather than trying to be funny. Play the truth of the script rather than trying to be funny.
Hilarious.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
And I feel like I definitely had to keep a straight face multiple times.
Yeah.
I'm like,
We definitely broke a couple of times. I wish they would have kept some of that stuff.
nah,
in the
we got way more in the blooper reel. We got way more.
But yeah.
Yeah, I love that, you saying, living your truth and being truthful.
Yeah.
And like this, at the core of this film, it's all about friendship.
Right.
And House Party, with the two of you guys prove that you are ride or die for each other. And for you, Jacob, playing Kevin, how important is it for you to have friends like that in your life? And do you share any similarities to Kevin in that way?
Absolutely. It's very important. I think we were talking about this earlier. Like Kevin and Damon's dynamic is so cool because if Kevin didn't have Damon, like Kevin just wouldn't live a certain way, or he wouldn't even experience certain things in his life. The House Party probably would have never happened without Damon.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think those dynamics are extremely important. You need those friends that are also like
The wild card.
that wild card that'll push you to do certain things, and then you need the opposite of like, all right, now let's reel back in. We're going a little too crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that like that the opposite sort of really sort of like makes that magic happen. So it was it shows, and I think it's the core of the film.
So a fun question for both of you. Aside from LeBron James' house, of course, if there was a celebrity's house that you could throw a party at, whose house would it be?
Someone rich, man. Like Elon Musk or something like that.
We need
Good one.
somebody's house we can mess
I
up.
need someone to fund my life. Like, hey, bro, come on, man.
Hey man, I need your venue.
Hey, you're like a billionaire. Just give me the 0.1%. You ain't gonna feel it. You know what I mean? It's gonna change my life, but you ain't gonna feel it.
Definitely can't do it at my house. I'm too clean. I'm like, no, I'm not washing all them dishes.
Nah, I ain't. I like people. People ain't allowed in my house.
Nah, place of peace.
We saw some really funny outtakes while you were filming, and it looked like you guys were having such a great time.
Yeah.
Were there any moments during filming that still stuck with you? I'll go to you, Tosin, on that one.
There's like a bit where we're in like a room. I ain't gonna say where because I don't want to give it away. But remember, like, because we was like waiting for them to set up, so we was like laughing and cracking in jokes for like, I don't know, like an hour.
That's where our cashiers was?
Huh?
That's where our cashiers was?
Yeah. Remember we was up there and then we went down to the truck.
Right. I know you're talking about.
So we was like laughing for like an hour. Like it was late. It's like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, waiting for the crew to set up, and it's like the last setup. And then we all go downstairs, and like it was like I think we had like 20 minutes left, and we just couldn't keep a straight face.
Couldn't.
Like someone said something, and we was laughing. I was like, all right, cool. And I was like, hey, guys, let's be serious now. And then I think we was laughing for like 30 minutes straight.
Nah, it was
so bad. I had to apologize to the crew, but then it was like, it was bad. It was bad.
I think even the crew just after a while they just started laughing as well.
Yeah, it was like, hey, man.
That delirious hour kind of kicks in like
bro,
3,
it was
4
so
a.m.
bad.
when we about to wrap, but it's like we gotta get those last couple scenes, and we just like just pulling that energy from
so
somewhere.
bad,
yeah, it was.
That
dope.
was like I was corpsing for like half an hour. I was like, this is so bad, bro.
And I had to be serious in the moment. Too.
Yeah, it was a serious scene. That's what I'm saying. But I wasn't taking it serious, and that was funny because I was just living through the scene. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
Definitely had to be there. There's something about these stories too. There's something about these stories where the characters always manage to persuade the reluctant friend to get into some shenanigans, which is what happens to Kevin in this. So have you ever been that friend, Jacob, where you've dealt with that situation, or was it the other way around?
I'm sorry. Actually, one more time. I'm sorry.
Have you ever been that friend where, you was caught up in a situation where you were persuaded to do something where you didn't want to do that thing? Or were you that friend that persuaded to get into a situation?
I'm usually on the defense on like the boundaries, like, nah, I don't know about that. And they're like, nah, come on, let's go. But I'm pretty good with my gut feelings. So usually I'm like, yeah, we shouldn't have did that. You know what I'm saying? So I try to keep a mixture of Kevin and Damon in my personal spirit of just like, no, let's go out and kick it and let's have a good time. But that's also like get back home.
Safety.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm a little bit of both.
Yeah. Well, listen, I absolutely enjoyed the both of you in this film. It was such a pleasure just watching this, and I really enjoyed it. And thank you so much for your time, and thank you for talking to Black Girl Nerds. I really appreciate it.
All right, man. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing?
Good. Well, listen, I absolutely loved House Party. This film is so much fun, and I can't wait for everybody to see this. It's so good to just kind of go back and like revisit and also have a refreshing take on this film that so many of us loved back in the 90s. So starting with you, Rotimi, Guile is doing the absolute most in this movie.
Yeah.
And while the script offers us some funny dialogue with your character, did you add any improv to the scenes or different moments while portraying Guile? Because he's so off the wall in various moments during the movie.
And again, shout out to our amazing director, Cal, man. He allowed me to try different things. And all, like me, Alan, and Melvin, we were able to just try different takes and just fly with it. So he was like, all right, get the one that's on the paper and do what you want to do. And so just able to have that trust, it was a beautiful thing. But yeah, it was fun. And sometimes you just black out and just don't remember what you say because you're just so into it. But it was such a good time, man. Such a good time.
Oh, that's awesome. And DC, listen, I absolutely loved your character. You had me in stitches throughout the whole movie. And a few of the actors in this film portray very exaggerated versions of themselves, including yourself. So what part of yourself would you say is more exaggerated for this story? And what did you enjoy most about playing this role?
Well, it was more so I wanted to make sure that I accomplished the goal, you know what I'm saying? And not only just, not quite on exaggerate the role, but make sure that I exceeded the expectations of what Cal wanted, because he fought for me to be in this movie. And I wanted to make sure that he got what he wanted because he saw something in me, you know what I'm saying? And every time on set, I was like, notes, Cal, what we need? He like, man, you doing great. I'm like, all right. Notes, Cal, what we need? He like, bro, you great. I'm like, notes, Cal, you straight? You sure? And it was just like,
Great.
just being on this set was just fun, man. Me and Rotimi done worked multiple times, which means that we still on the right path and we on the right journey. God got our back.
Absolutely.
And it's just fun when you can create a classic with your brothers, with your family members, you know what I'm saying? So we can sit back 20, 30 years later, like, bro, look at our careers,
Look what
man.
we did,
Look
man.
what we did, man, for the people. Our children, 29, talk about house party.
Crazy. They're gonna be asking us, yo, I didn't even think of that.
Facts.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
That's why I asked about the improv, because it looked like you guys had so much fun and that you just added your own spin to the story. And it was so much fun to watch, and it looked very organic and seamless as a viewer experiencing that.
That's what I'm talking
So
about.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel like we needed the people to be like, I don't know, don't touch it. And now when they see it, they more relaxed.
Yes.
Like, can you believe in us now?
Yes.
Just believe in us as actors and actresses.
We
that
got
y'all.
Come on.
We got y'all, man.
What did you enjoy most about playing this role for you, DC? What did you enjoy most about filming this?
Just knowing that we're doing something that's part of the culture. You know, we could have easily, like Rose said, we could have easily just said like we're doing a house party movie. But for the OGs to stamp it, and it's kind of like bridging the gap of this original house party, it's like, okay, it done enhanced. It's like the expectations like is already set on the movie before we even create it. They're like, look, you gotta be great. You gotta be good. This just can't be mediocre. And I felt like we went in there and we really did what we had to do.
Absolutely. And everybody, and it's cool because they got us at the right time. Like, everybody's hungry. You know, so we're attacking it and pushing each other, you know? And so, like, you don't get that often. You get, like, I got to get mine, you get yours. It's like, nah, come on, let's bring it this time, you know? And that was the energy on set for sure.
Absolutely. You know, there's a lot of harebrained ideas in this movie conjured up by the characters. Have you ever, and this is for you, Rotimi, have you ever got yourself caught up in a wild scheme that you couldn't quite get yourself out of?
Oh, it's my college days. Yeah, college days. It was a different type of Rotimi, man. Yeah.
It was butterscotch.
It was butterscotch. It was butterscotching everywhere. Everywhere. Yeah, just butterscotch dust.
Come here, let me show you what butterscotch do. Butterscotch.
Everywhere, baby, yes.
All right. Well, listen, you guys, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to Black Girl Nerds. This film was absolutely hilarious. I loved it, and I can't wait for everybody else to see it.
Thank you,
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Take care. Bye. Hey, Calmatic, how are you?
Yo, what's up? How you doing?
Good. Listen, I absolutely loved House Party. I'm so excited to talk to you about it. It's so refreshing to see this film, but also nostalgic at the same time. And one of the things about the original House Party films that was so notable for us as fans is that it brought hip hop music back into the mainstream. And what I loved about this film is you kept the music in its own time capsule with some of those, those songs that we remember from back in the 90s and the early 2000s. So what was your intention behind the music for this remix, as you call it, for House Party?
Well, I just want it to be as authentic as possible, right? I feel like, thinking about all the house parties I went to and, just kind of, just growing up in the culture, like I just feel like we couldn't do this movie with a bunch of just like random TikTok songs that you never heard of before, right? And so that was super important to me. When the party is not going as planned and you need to get people on the dance floor, it's only one song you can play, and that's back that ass up. You know what I'm saying? So I think like that's kind of like was the decision making with that. It's like really be authentic, and I think aside from some of those like needle drop moments, we also filled the soundtrack with a lot of local LA artists, because that's who will also get played at these house parties, right? These are not only all just like top 10 hip hop hits. Like there's like an underground party culture, where artists like YG and RJ come from, and those get played just as much as like the Kanyes and the Jay-Z's in the party. And so I wanted to make sure it felt like LA through and through.
And I appreciate that, because I'm a woman of a certain age. So the TikTok songs, I don't know them. So it wouldn't have connected with me.
For sure.
The Kid Cudi character is unlike anything I've ever seen. And although I imagine that most of that was scripted, was there any part of his performance that was added during filming?
Oh yeah, to be honest, when we wrote that role, we didn't know who we wanted to play the role. So we just kind of wrote it in hopes of getting somebody, you know, really famous. And when the idea for Kid Cudi came up, it was a no-brainer. And, you know, when he agreed to do it, it was like, oh wow, he agreed to do it. Like, let's do it. Like, and while we were on set, like there were moments where, you know, he would just take the spirit of the script and then run with it and kind of do his own thing. And we got some of the best moments that I couldn't even like imagine that we would have gotten. It was just, I think his performance in this movie is like, it's so good. It was good to the point where like there was moments we were on set and I was just like, is this happening? Like why is he so into this? Like this is so good. You know what I mean? Like it was like, I think he was the icing on the cake with this film. Like it wouldn't be the same without him.
It definitely wouldn't, for sure. Aside from LeBron James's house, obviously, if there was a celebrity's house that you could throw a house party in, whose house would it be?
Oh man, that's a good question, man. I feel like I'd have to go with like Jay-Z and Beyonce. I feel
Ooh, good one.
and there's those are like, I feel like we never seen any glimpses of what their house looked like, but you know, from Beyonce lyrics and Jay-Z lyrics, we know they got a bunch of Basquiat's on the wall. So, you know, hopefully, you know, we can have a good time without knocking over those, you know, expensive paintings. But I would assume that they have a nice place to host a cracking party.
Oh yeah, indeed, indeed. And what would you say to critics who say, "Oh, well, we don't need another house party"? What would you say to them, for those fans that, you know, to give this film a chance? Like what would you say to those folks?
Man, I mean, I think I don't know why we feel limited, like we can only have one of something. But also, like, I feel like the franchise house party, it should be something that's updated every generation or every, you know, 10 years or something like that. You know, imagine if they had a house party in the 60s or the 70s. I'm sure we would watch that movie to like see how they used to, you know, interact in the 70s and what dances they were doing and like, you know, how they spoke to each other. So I think like these house party films are like a time capsule for the culture at that particular point in time. And I think, you know, if we collect a bunch of these down the line, we'll be able to look back and rejoice on how far the culture has come.
Absolutely. Well, I feel like you are definitely creating your own time capsule with this remix version of House Party. And I really appreciate what you've created with this film. I can't wait for everybody to see it. And thank you so much for taking the time to talk to Black Girl Nerds. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
All right. Take care.
You too.
Better shake your booties for Black Girl Nerds. Better shake your booties for Black Girl Nerds.